Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to have you here on our Loving Your Liver, the silent workhorse behind the scenes workshop today. Let's start out with this quote from Socrates. It is a disgrace to grow old through sheer carelessness before seeing what manner of person you may become by developing your body's full potential. That's something to really think about, isn't it? Well, what we're talking about today is not necessarily glamorous. It is about the liver. But the liver, second to the skin, is the biggest single organ. The skin is the first largest single organ. It doesn't beat like the heart or glow like our skin, but it is your body's silent warrior. It filters and it processes, it detoxifies, and it is defending your body every single moment. When it's healthy, you don't notice it, but when it's struggling, every system feels the strain. Let's check in and see how we damage this vital organ, first of all. And we don't even really realize how we're damaging it and what we can do about loving it kind of back into normal function. So, how do we damage this? Most often on a daily basis. One of these things is through what we eat. So when we eat trans fats and inflammatory oils, like hydrogenated oils, they are toxic. They're found in most all processed snacks. They're found in frozen meals, they're found in margarine, they're found in fast foods. And you're probably wondering what they do. Well, they cause inflammation in our body, and they do cause an increase in liver fat, which, and I'm sure if you're in my line of field, you are hearing this more often. It can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, even some vegetable oils like canola and soybean and corn oils can oxidize under heat, causing damage to the liver cells. And then skipping healthy fats. A lot of us are on this, we want to lose weight, we want to be healthy, so we think we should skip fat altogether. But the thing is that not only does our liver need fat, our brain needs healthy fats, but we need the right kind. So avocados, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, wild-caught salmon, chia seeds, flax seeds, these are all things that nourish the liver and reduce inflammation. Omega-3s are liver protecting. So keep that in mind when you think you're going to skip even the healthy fats. Drinking alcohol, even moderate amounts of alcohol, affect the liver detox pathways and can deplete your glutathione, your master antioxidant. After time, it too can lead to fatty liver. And of course, drinking in excess of alcohol can lead to cirrhosis and poor hormone metabolism. Interesting fact that in peri and post-menopause, women tend to actually crave alcohol in more abundance because our hormones are shifting. So this causes us to want to drink more for those that already are consuming alcohol, and our liver cannot process it, therefore throwing our hormone balance off even more. And then eating the processed sugars. Sugar, especially fructose, gets processed almost exclusively in the liver. Excess sugar gets converted to fat in that liver, and it increases it to triglycerides, to that belly fat, that ring of fat that we have in our midsections, especially if you're postmenopausal. and it consists of liver congestion. This is why NAFLD, the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, is also now seen in children who don't drink a drop of alcohol. Now let's go to salt. You've probably heard a lot about salt lately. Refined table salt. The iodized table salt that you've seen in all the shakers in most every single restaurant and probably on every church basement table if you've ever gone to a potluck. That salt is stripped of its natural minerals and it contains added anti-caking agents that can stress the kidneys and the liver. Sea salts like Celtic or Himalayan sea salt, they not only are a salt, but they contain trace minerals like magnesium and potassium, and that support the fluid balance, the bile flow, and the liver enzyme function, and so many more. They have like anywhere from 97 to 99% of the trace minerals found within within those salts. Now, we are also living within the pharmaceutical era. And so many prescriptions and over-the-counter drugs list as one of the side effects liver toxicity. So, some of the most common, especially acetaminophen, which people pop like candy nowadays, statins, antifungals, and even a lot of the antibiotics. Always check those labels for hepatic warning. The liver is your drug processing hub and can become overloaded very quickly. Now, if we're never detoxing our liver pathways or our detox pathways, then how do you think we get that sludge out of our liver? Another thing that we also don't do, a lot of us drink too little of water during the day. Instead, we're reaching for coffee or high sugar sodas, or even no sugar sodas, but instead we're consuming artificial sweeteners instead. Or we might be drinking things that are energy drinks that are laden with overly processed chemicals that are in them that are considered vitamins, right? So hydration is key for detoxing. Dehydration thickens the bile, it thickens the blood, it slows down elimination, and it forces the liver to work even harder. So I would encourage you to start your morning right away with a warm lemon water drink. It's 12 ounces, 8 to 12 ounces of warm water with a half of a fresh lemon and a pinch of sea salt. You can even add a slice of fresh ginger in there for extra support. This supports digestion, it stimulates your bile, and it hydrates the liver. Now, earlier, if you saw my reel, you saw that I was talking about your teeth. And your mouth and your liver are the hidden link. Because where does all of this all start? It all starts in your mouth, right? Did you know that your teeth and your gums are directly tied to liver and gallbladder health? In traditional Chinese medicine, each tooth correlates to an organ. And I know this as fact, not just from just reading or researching. In my pain relief clinic here at Grace Anatomy, I used to do odontics. And with odontics, we would target a specific tooth for whatever was ailing my pain patient that was coming in. And we could put that odontic rod and run microcurrent directly through that tooth, and it would help alleviate the pain in that part of the body. So each tooth is correlated to a specific organ in the body. Infections, root canals, or plaque buildup can send inflammatory signals to the liver through your teeth. Chronic bad breath and gum disease often reflect gut and liver issues. How many of you knew that? I'd love to see comments down below, but you do have to subscribe in order to leave a comment. Main things that affect your tooth health and your breath are the poor liver detox, low bile production, high sugar intake, low mineral intake, like you could be low in calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, mouth breathing, which totally affects your oral pH. So when you see somebody that's always mouth breathing, or if you're mouth breathing at night a lot, the best thing to do is what we call mouth taping. It's actually a learned habit. So if you just put a small piece of medical grade paper tape on your lips, give yourself a little space until you can get really used to it, and you will retrain your mouth to stay shut at night so that you can retrain your system to breathe in and out through the nose. And you will find that your saliva production will increase and you won't wake up so dry-mouthed in the middle of the night. Digestive insufficiency is also another thing that affects your tooth health. And especially if you have low stomach acid, which really translates to people thinking that they have acid reflux. So we want to switch that around by giving you the digestive enzymes and really getting those to start to stir up. Now, in order to understand how to love your liver, you need to kind of understand a little bit about the anatomy of the liver, right? Most people kind of think they know where it is, but you can't really feel it because it's kind of under your rib cage. And the only time you really feel it is if it gets really inflamed, and then you might feel a good edge of it. Your liver weighs about 3 pounds, and it sits right under that right rib cage, like I said. It has over 500 functions. Some of them are like filtering the blood, processing nutrients, breaking down hormones. It stores vitamins A, D, B12, K, and it produces bile for fat digestion. Now, when that bile becomes stagnant, the gallbladder gets congested and digestion really suffers. You're probably thinking, whoa, wait a minute. I thought digestion was the stomach, the small intestine, the colon, the mouth even. But digestion does, the liver plays a part in that as well. Many people with gallbladder removal never address the root issue. It's usually a toxic, sluggish liver. So how do you find out how do you even know if your liver is struggling? Well, we as functional health blood work specialists, we look at your blood work from a functional point of view, not a clinical point of view. So, and they look at these same markers too, that's true. We look at them a little bit differently. So the enzymes that the liver releases when the liver cells are damaged are called ALT and AST. We look at them at a narrower view so we can hone in on the struggle a little bit quicker. They also look at a sensitive marker for bile stagnation called a GGT. They look at what's called an alkaline phosphatase, and that can indicate bile duct or bone issues. A bilirubin measures the liver's ability to clear out the old red blood cells. A CRP and a ferritin, and here this is the inflammation and the iron overload or the iron stores that can stress the liver. And then we look at LDL, triglycerides, glucose, and insulin. When these are elevated, these often point to metabolic liver congestion. Now, some people would say, well, I thought some of those were diabetic issues, and I thought some of these were heart disease issues. And you wouldn't be wrong. They are, but we can read these for many different issues, and we read them differently for each of these issues. When we're looking at all of these together, we see things functionally. And those functional ranges matter more than just normal labs. Your liver runs on a rhythm. And so you've heard me talk about the traditional Chinese medicine body clock before. Now they look at your body going through this 24-hour body clock. And your liver's time is from 1 to 3 a.m. This is when your liver is actively detoxifying. If you're waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. consistently, your liver is asking for support, especially if you feel hot, irritated, or anxious, or even depressed. This is where either you have unresolved traumatic issues from this area in your life, or you have a liver that really needs some help and it's trying to call out to you for support. On the flip side of that, between 1 and 3 p.m., then that's when digestion is happening to help aid in your liver support to set you up for your evening. So the 24-hour flip or the 12-hour flip of that is what's aiding that organ. So those organs, every 12 hours, the opposite is aiding the organ that's opposite of it on the other 12-hour end. Castor oil packs are extremely beneficial as a gentle liver support. And actually, castor oil packs can be used everywhere on the body for all sorts of different things. But using castor oil packs over the liver helps increase circulation. It stimulates your lymphatic flow. It reduces inflammation, and it does improve your bile movement. How you were to use a castor oil pack is I really prefer the Queen of the Thrones liver love castor oil pack. She has a really nice kind of one size fits all wearable castor oil pack that's very gentle, very calming, doesn't get too hot, it's breathable, and it comes with castor oil that doesn't have, it's hexane free, it's all natural, it comes in a glass bottle. So I really do appreciate her castor oil and her pack. However, if you want to, you can try to make your own using flannel or some kind of cotton, and you place that castor oil on that, you place that over your liver. You do have to cover it with something that is not going to bleed through. I don't like using plastic because it does get warm and you don't need to absorb those plastics or those toxins back in. The whole thing is to draw the toxins out. So I prefer using like the bamboo type of backing that they have on the castor oil packs. But you can cover it with a plastic or a towel. It will stain, so be very cognizant of that. And you can either apply gentle heat, or I like to wear mine overnight. So that's that about castor oil packs. You can go ahead and reach out to me. I believe my email is linked down below in the description, and you can ask me about the castor oil packs. Also, for cleansing the liver, we have a really very simple, very easy Senolytic Cleanse. And what that does is it takes those cells that are no longer productive. They don't divide anymore, therefore they don't carry what they're supposed to carry to the areas in the body they're supposed to carry them to. They just sit as sludge in the liver. They're called zombie cells. And this Senolytic Cleanse is a powerful way to help your liver eliminate these zombie cells. These cells refuse to die. That's why they're called zombie cells. They contribute to aging and inflammation. So this cleanse includes the liver-specific support to trigger the autophagy, the cellular cleanup, and it enhances mitochondrial function, it supports detox pathways, and it reduces the inflammatory load on the liver. That link to get on that Senolytic Cleanse is in the description below, and it'll take you right to the Senolytic Cleanse information. If you have questions still at the end of this, there's also a link to go ahead and book a call with me, and you can ask me other questions during that call. So we can't separate your liver from your emotions. The liver is the seat of anger, frustration, resentment, anxiousness, and depression in many healing traditions. Emotional detox is just as important as physical detox. Your soul thrives when your liver flows. So it's very important for you to ground this emotional baggage that we have talked about so much. It's also very important to breathe, to really remember, especially when you're going through these intense emotions, to look at your surroundings, find something familiar, pick out something in the room that can actually make you smile, even if you're in an uncomfortable situation. A color, focus on a color, or a plant, or a surface, or a window, or a picture, or something that you can pick something out that brightens your day or gives you peace. If you're in a surrounding when an emotion comes on, and you can put on a sweater, or you can grab a pillow to hug, or a comfortable blanket, or even a stuffy. Some people that have anxiousness have like a stuffy or a soft ball, like a stress ball that they can put in their hand, or a smooth stone that they can fiddle with. And these emotions start, do one of those things. Put your feet on the ground, ground yourself, find one of those coping mechanisms, and then breathe deep down into your soul, like all the way down. And then hold it there. And then let it all out. And then do that about 5 times until those emotions linger. And as you're doing that, go through your mental checklist and find 3 things to be grateful for, to replace those emotions with. If it's forgiveness that you need to either receive or give, do that. In your mind, do that. If it's anger that's building up, let go of that anger and give it to God at that moment. And tell him it was never yours to carry. He's a big man. He understands. He can carry it for you. And breathe that out. Again, when your soul thrives, your liver flows. All right. Now, in all of this, there are liver-loving herbs and teas. Below, I've left a link for you to grab a free PDF of some liver-loving tea recipes that you can grab. They're yours. You can have them, copy them off and keep them. But some top herbal allies for your liver is going to be milk thistle. That regenerates your liver cells. Dandelion root. It's a bitter herb. You can do that as a tincture or a tea. That helps promote the bile we were talking about. Schisandra is a liver adaptogen and it's an antioxidant. And if you struggle with allergies, this is also a good allergy support. Artichoke leaf supports bile and fat digestion. Turmeric helps reduce inflammation. Yellow dock is a mild laxative and it's also a blood purifier. A caveat with that is if you are on any blood thinners, you would definitely want to check with your physician before adding yellow dock. Burdock root is a skin and a liver cleanser. And a liver-loving tea blend. Then this one, I don't remember, I think this is on your handout, but in case it's not, you can come back and watch this video. But it would be 1 teaspoon of dandelion root, 1 teaspoon of milk thistle seed, a half of teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of ginger or fennel, and steep in 16 ounces of hot water for 15 minutes. And you can sip that daily for liver support. So, Socrates once said, the right education is that which teaches us to desire the right things. And in this case, we desire alignment in our body, in our habits, and in our spirit, right? Your liver does far more than process toxins. It reflects your lifestyle, your stress, your nourishment, and your willingness to care. When you support your liver, your entire being shifts from fatigue to clarity and from congestion to flow. So I would love for you to flow into working with me, right? So, and I would love for you to feel less brain fog, less fatigue. And if you need someone to help walk you through this journey, just click on my book a call link and I'd be happy to help you. Otherwise, join the Senolytic Cleanse. You would get videos from me walking you through that process and all of the necessary supplements that you need for that process. I myself just finished my own Senolytic Cleanse. And then from there, I can help you with the next step. So until next week, I hope that you can flow with a happier, healthier mind. And I will see you again next week. Same time, same place. You guys have a great day. Bye, everybody.